Good morning, cadets. I welcome you back for the computer science session for class 12th. In my previous class, I have discussed about the data types, core data types, numbers, sequences, mappings, and none. Today, we'll try to discuss about the mutable and immutable types. What is the meaning of mutable and immutable? So, as we know, the list and the dictionaries are mutable, whereas strings and tuples are immutable. So, let us try to understand the concept of this mutable and immutable types. The Python data object, the meaning of data object means any value that what we are going to store in Python. That generally it is called as a data object. The Python data object can be broadly categorized into two types, mutable and immutable. In simple words, modifiable and non-modifiable. First, let us see immutable type, non-modifiable. These are those values that can be never change their value in place. What is the meaning of this? We will see upon the examples that they cannot or they never change their value in place. In Python, following types are mutable. As I told you, the strings and tuples are immutable. Apart from that, any constants like integers, floats, and boolean all are immutable data types. Now, there is a code now. What is this code? A is 10. The value of A is assigned to B. C is 15. Now A is assigned the value 20. Now B is assigned with the value 40. And C is assigned with the value B. Some kind of assignments are written here. Now there is arrow mark we have shown here, that C, A, B. Okay, this is the bracket what we have shown here. From this code, you can say the value of integer A, B, C could be changed effortlessly. What we have done here, what the attempt we have made here. Okay, A value we have made an attempt to change, and B also, and remember these all are of integers, means immutable. But this is not the case. Let us understand what was done behind the scene. Let us see that. When A equal to 10, let us see here, A equal to 10 means here the memory variable where the value is 10, A is assigned here. The same A is also assigned to B, means here the value of B is also 10. The value of A is also 10. Since B equal to A we have written, the value of B is also 10. What is the next statement? C equal to 15. Of course 15 is stored here and C is 15. This whatever 250, 272, 280, they are just examples of memory location addresses. These boxes are indicating values, whereas these written under the white character under the blue background, these are addresses. Just for simplification we have taken now. Okay. Now A equal to 20. Earlier A was 10. Now we have made an attempt to change the value of A as 20. Okay. Now you can see here A is 10, B equal to A means B is also 10, C equal to 15. The Python provide ID function to get the memory address to which the value variable is referring. Let us check now. A equal to 10, B equal to A, C equal to 15. Print ID of A, some address it is printing here. Print ID of B, that is also the same address, because 10 is the location, the location having value 10 is both pointed by both A and B. Now you see print ID of C. ID of C is something else because it is a different memory location. Now if I print the ID of A, ID of the value 10 stored here, once again it will give the same 304, because either ID of A or ID of B or ID of 10 all are same. Now let me see the next one, next slide. You just see here. Now I have made an attempt to change the value of A as 20. Earlier A was pointing to 10, now I is pointing to the value 20, means this value you have not modified. You cannot modify. it will be in a different memory location. That's why its address will be different. Earlier address of 10 is this. In the machine the address it was showing different, but for symbolically we can see that earlier the address of 10 was 250, but now the address of A is 280. Now the value B was also pointing to A earlier, as you say. Now B is assigned with 40. Now B will point to 40, and same B is assigned to C. Therefore C is also pointing to 40, whose address is different. Once again, Python provides id function to get the memory address to which value or variable is referring. So these three statements are written here. Now id of A, see here symbolically I have taken 280, here something 464. id of B something like 784. id of C, that is also 784, because both B and C are pointing to same value 40. The meaning of which is, earlier wherever your variable is pointing to any value, if you make an attempt to change the value, it in place, the definition of immutable was, okay, change of a value cannot be done in place. You can change the value of A, no doubt, but this 10 will be there only. So the A was, instead of pointing to 10, now it will point to 20. This is what the concept of immutable data type. From the previous code, it is clear that the variable names are stored references to a value object. Each time we change the value, the variable's reference memory address also changes. So it will not store new value in the same memory location. That is why integer, float, boolean, strings and tuples are immutable. Variables of certain type are not like storage containers with a fixed memory address where value changes every time. Hence they are immutable. Okay, understood the concept of immutable, right? Now let us see the concept of mutable type. It is opposite to the immutable. The mutable means in same memory address a new value can be stored as and when it is required. The Python provides following mutable types: the list and dictionary, and also sets. Okay, sets we don't discuss much. We'll discuss with only lists and dictionaries. Now examples you can see here using list. So employees having the members like E001, Rama, sales 67,000. Now if I print the ID of employee, it is 896. Now I will change employees of 3. 3 means 0, 1, 2, 3. Instead of 67,000, I will assign the value 75,000. Now I will print the ID of employee. Same ID employee will be there, 896, 896. You can see there. Even though you have modified the value of a particular member in the list, okay, your ID is not changed. See, even if you change the value, its reference memory address has remained same. That is what the mutable type. Hope you understood clearly. Example of list. Similarly, in case of dictionary also, because it is also a mutable data type, any member in the dictionary or any value of a key, you can change it. So variable internals, what is the meaning of this now? Python is an object oriented language, so everything in Python is an object. An object is any identifiable entity that has some characteristics or properties and their behavior. Every object that exists on this world is having its own identity. Examples of entity, if I say the book is an entity, right? Mobile is an entity, right? Then a table is an entity, right? So what is an entity? Entity will have its own characteristic properties. What are the characteristic properties of book? I can say book number, book title, book author, price of the book, volume of the book, publication of the book, etc., etc., etc. When I talk about a mobile, I will not talk about a book number there. I will call about the mobile serial number, the brand of the mobile number, okay, then the model of the mobile number, mobile set. Getting the idea or not? And when I talk about a furniture, what I will talk about that? Okay, furniture color, furniture texture, that is what kind of material is used to make that furniture, whether it is a steel furniture or it is a wood furniture, weight of it, height of that, etc, etc, etc. That's how every entity that is existing will have its own characteristic properties. And behavior. Behavior means what? Basically, behavior is the terminology used in object oriented language, like a operations that can be performed. Now, what operations you can do on the book? You tell me. Book can be folded, book can be opened, book can be closed, book pages in a book can be teared, isn't it, etc, etc, etc. If you talk about a furniture like a chair or a table, what are the behavior of that table? Table can be folded, isn't it? Table can be used for keeping the things, isn't it? Table can be used for some other purpose, right? Understood or not? So these the operations which can apply on a particular entity, they are called as the behavior. Similarly, like integer values or objects, they hold whole numbers, that is the characteristics, and they support all the arithmetic operations, that is what the behavior. Every Python object has 3 key attributes. This is very important concept, you should know it. 3 important attributes means properties. What are those? What is the type of an object? What is the value stored in that an object? And what is its identity? What is the memory address of a memory location where that value is? Type of an object, value of an object, and ID of an object. Now, what is the meaning of a type of an object? Type of an object determines the operations that can be performed on the object. Built-in function type returns the type of an object. For example, a equal to 100. If you type A, it will indicate int. Type 100, int. Type Jax, okay, if I stored Jax in the name and type of name, it is string. Understood? That is the type. Now the value is what? 100. Or isn't it? Value is 100. Value is Jax. So type, value, and an ID. Already we have used and see what is an ID. Suppose if I give it an ID of A, then it will display a memory location where the value of A is stored. Okay, therefore these are the 3 important attributes associated with it. Remember, type, value, and ID. Now let us see the evaluating the logical expressions. First of all, you should know what you mean by an expression. What is an expression? Expression is nothing but a combination of operands and operators. That is what we call it an expression. If you go through what are the types of expressions, we can say if the operators used are arithmetic, then it is arithmetic expression. If the operators used are logical or logical operations, then it is a logical expression. If the operators used are relational, then it is a relational expression. Now you can see here, while evaluating the logical expressions, Python follows these rules. The precedence of logical operators is lower than the arithmetic operators. The top priority goes to the arithmetic, then relational, and then logical. For example, if I write 10 divided by 5 or 5.0 plus 5 divided by 10 will be evaluated as 5 or 10.0. Why it is so? Can you tell me? Yes. Arithmetic operation 10 divided by 5 is 2.0, right? 50 divided by 10 is 5.0, or 2.0 or 5.0, it will be 5.0, okay, plus 5.0, it will be 10.0, not 5, it is 10.0. The precedence of logical operators is not first, then and then or. So if I write x and y orchard and not q will be evaluated first, and then it comes to and, then it comes to or. So based on that, the brackets are put here. You can see not q will be first, and then x and y, then z and that not q, and then the entire or. That is how we have to put the parenthesis to know the precedence of operators, right? Now one more concept is there called as a typecasting. The name itself suggests the casting. Casting means originally it is something different, temporarily we convert it to something. That is what the casting. An explicit type conversion is used, user defined conversion that forces an expression to be of specific type. The explicit type of conversion is known as typecasting. It is done using the syntax data type to convert an expression. Example you can see here. If str equal to 100, then if I write int string, the value 100 will be converted into integer. Therefore, here you have to write the data type, and in bracket you have to write the expression. So actually string within the quotes is nothing but string type, and it will convert the string to, this is called as the type casting. Then it is something about the modules, importing modules. What is a math library? To include the math library, we have to give the statement import math. Suppose if you want to use any functions like a ceil, square root, exponentiation, then floating absolute, floor, log 10, power, sine, cos, tan, etc. If any of these functions of mathematics, if you want to use, it is mandatory to import math library, right? So with this background, would like to stop here, because after that we'll discuss about the flow of control, which is an important concept. Hope you understood all these. And also something I want to tell here, if any of the, there are two ways of importing a module, you know, three ways, sorry, not two or three ways. What you can do, import math means all the functions which are available in math are available, but while using you have to use math dot square root, math dot floor, math dot ceil, something like this. Otherwise you can use another way of importing, from math import floor, from math import square root. While using it, you need not write math dot square root, because specifically we imported the square root function. Therefore, if you don't want to write the module name and dot operation, you can write from math import name of the function. Even if I want to use more than one function, you can also give from math import ceil comma square root comma exponentiation, one or more than one. Or another third option is from math import star. Star means once again all the function. Anyhow, import math is doing the same function, but what is the necessary to from math import star? While using those functions, you need not write math dot name of the functions. Understood? If you want to use math dot name of the function, just you write import math. If you are specifically interested in only some function, you write from math import name of the function, or more than one functions. Suppose you don't want to use math dot, in such case once again you can use from math import star. So these things, whatever I have told you, if you are not understood, or if you want to, I will write here all the ways of, okay, just for your benefit, ways of importing modules. Okay, this I will take in the next line. Okay, I will write one way is import math. In that case, how we should use this import? I must be small, not capital, right? Import math. How we should use? Suppose I want to use math dot sqrt. Of course, you want to write a variable. Suppose if it is a, you can give like this. Another option, from math import, suppose that square root, if you want to use, you can write square root. This is another way, right? So here f must not be capital, right? From math import. Example, how I can write now? Straight away you can write print the value of square root of a. No need to have a math dot function. Understood? Okay, suppose if you want to have more than one, what you can do, just I will also show that. Here I will type and let me show you. Paste. This is not the third, in this only. From this one and comma pow, you can write here. Understood? More than one function. So similarly you can use print here square root, print square root here. Okay, similarly you can also use print pow, or you can use the pow. That's the second way. One or more than once you can. What is your third one now? Third one is from math import star. This you can give it. Understood? So all the functions are, the only difference with that is, suppose all the functions of maths are available to you, while using simply you can write print, no need to use math dot, print square root of a, square root of a. Hope you understood. This is how there are the three ways of, these are the three ways of using the, I'll just highlight and show you ways of importing the modules. You write import name of the module. Here also it is coming capital, of course it is not capital. Okay, it is editor problem, we have to print small. Okay, hope you understood. Clear? These are the three ways of. So in my next class I will go with the flow of control. Today I would like to stop here and we will continue in my next class. Bye bye.